And so I just want to go back because, again, Jonathan said his first question to Bradley Rice originally when hearing this is it replicable? And because, you hear when you know nothing about this, it's, oh, what is Salesforce? Is this just working for one company? And obviously, we've already described that this can be working for one of many, many companies. And I just want to understand again, like the actual job. So it almost sounded like in that example you were saying with 100 people or using Salesforce in this one company, like you are kind of like the in-house expert, right? So I'm assuming you're doing some kind of troubleshooting, not help desk in the low level, but like you're helping people implement this. And then I would assume, is there some level of like you also like troubleshooting for the company as a whole, like how they implement Salesforce, or is that like at a higher level? Or talk me through like what does this look like, I guess, as an entry level job?
Yeah, so it honestly depends on how the org is or what the org is. So, for example, for my full-time role, we are a sales company, and so we have sales processes, and we also have customer service processes. And so and they all these processes live in Salesforce. And so my job is to make sure that their tool, the Salesforce, the tool that they're using is not only running well, but also seeing how I can improve it. So Salesforce is you can modify it to make it more specific to your team, but also improve it to automate processes, so saving people time and money.
And Dennison, I'm really, as you start talking about those things that actually move the bottom line for your company, are you actually to now, as a person that also like watches dollars and cents at a personal level, are you also able to kind of appreciate the value more that you bring to this company? Like you're legitimately, I would imagine, helping them earn more and spend less by dialing in all of this incredible software, but only if you know how to use it, know how to get the full flex out of what it's capable of doing. Like, are you starting to see how your abilities are making this company more profitable and be able to run leaner?
For sure, yeah. With Salesforce, the value is instantaneously noticeable. In other positions, I would say the value is not as immediate. Whereas with Salesforce, I could change one little button and suddenly everyone like saves 2 hours of their day.
Yeah.
Whereas like in, older company, like in my old company, I would do something and I'm like, I don't know if I improved anything. Like, I don't know if I moved the needle on
This
anything.
is really important. I mean, this is why I wanted to go with this. As a pharmacist, highly compensated, I say highly compensated, I was making probably 120 to 130, kind of on that very high end. I was the most expensive widget maker in the shop. It was very expensive. I could never quantify my value. We could take a look at medications sold, I guess, per year, gross profit, but it was very bleak. You were a drag on the company's, and nothing you could do, working harder, being more friendly, doing better customer service. Like none of these things you could really attribute to more than an anomaly at the end of the day. Whereas what you're doing is you can absolutely categorically point to the impact that you're having on every aspect of what the company does. And I just say I find that fascinating as a small business owner myself. I find that an incredibly valuable thing to be able to recognize about your role in a company.
Yeah, and it makes me feel good that I'll have, in a sense, job security, knowing that not my org isn't the only org that uses this, but it's used all over the world, and it's something that I can do remotely, potentially, like forever, basically. Just knowing that I can deliver this value, cost-wise, time-wise, to these organizations just by knowing this tool. And Bradley said like you can stay as a Salesforce administrator and have a career just being an administrator. If you want, you can be an administrator, Salesforce administrator for the rest of your career and like become FI that way. But there are so many more options within the Salesforce ecosystem, and that's just Salesforce administration is just kind of scratching the surface. But to be able to reach FI with just the baseline is pretty neat, I would say.
Yeah, that is incredible. I love how this was not even on your radar screen. And then you decided, all right, this is something I'm going to learn about. And boom. I mean, in that short a period of time, that's remarkable. Again, kind of going back to, is this replicable? And you as an original ChooseFI listener, like the type of hacks that we're looking for, right? That's why we're spending so much time on this, because we think that this is something that other people can listen to and say, oh, wow, I want to pivot, or, oh, wow, this is something I could do as a bridge to FI, or maybe in a pseudo early retirement. I could work 5 or 10 hours a week, something like that. Like, it seems as if, to me at least, this gives people options. And I think that's why I like highlighting this career change so much on the podcast. I think it's something that is really genuinely valuable to our community.